Hundreds of thousands have died throughout Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine. Journalists link the increase in losses in the Russian army with the battles for Avdiivka. At that time, on average, Russia was losing 120 soldiers a day. Now this figure has doubled to 250 people. Also, the journalists of Media Zona got the documents of the victims of PMC Wagner. Prisoners who participated in the so-called meat assaults were paid up to 5 million rubles.
Media Zona and the BBC Russian service have gained access to the records of PMC Wagner, which relate to posthumous payments to relatives. This document contains more than 20,000 names of those who died between January 2022 and August 2023. During this time, PMC Wagner spent about 108 billion rubles on such payments without taking into account most of the salaries and compensation for injuries from the publication in Media Zona.
The real losses of the Russian military could be much higher, analysts at The Economist say.
Between 462,000 and 728,000 Russian soldiers were out of action by mid-June, more than Russia's estimated invading force in February 2022. French and British officials estimate that around 500,000 Russians had been severely injured or killed by May. Russia does not broadcast the number of its soldiers that have been killed or injured since the start of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, but various sources suggest that it has recently passed a new milestone, from publication in The Economist.
The Ukrainian armed forces have managed to push the Russians back from their positions, which is why Russia is actively engaging elite troops in the war against Ukraine. They are now conducting an offensive in Kharkiv region. According to experts, the paratroopers are suffering huge losses.
The 83rd Brigade of Russian airborne assault troops suffered serious losses. The enemy is trying to maximize the use of air force in order to prevent its units from actually fleeing in this direction.
Ukraine successfully destroys Russian aviation. In the Pokrovsk region, the armed forces of Ukraine shot down a Russian Su-25 attack aircraft, which was shelling the positions of Ukrainian Defense Forces units. This was reported by the Khortytsa Operational Strategic Group. After the losses suffered, Russia will be forced to announce a new wave of mobilization, the Financial Times writes, citing a source close to Russian Defense Ministry. Prisoners and criminals that are being sent on meat assaults may not be enough.
The government kept riding on this system for a while. By the end of this year or early next year, a new partial mobilization wave will become inevitable, a source in the Russian Ministry of Defense in an interview with the Financial Times.
Migrants are also an expendable resource for Russia. According to British intelligence, a third of those who have been issued Russian passports already went to the front line. In total, about 30,000 migrants have recently been granted citizenship of the Federation. According to calculations by the human rights group Citizen Army Rights, about 10,000 Russians have gone missing in the war against Ukraine, and this is an underestimate. Human rights activists believe no official information is available. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.